Hello everyone, welcome to our Let's Play series of Planescape Torment. This is Colonel RPG as usual, and I'm very happy that you chose to join me today as we are in the Hive. We're looking for the Smoldering Corpse Bar or something like that. In last episode we talked to this barrier over here. I wonder if we just found it. No. Quatra's warehouse. But apparently, I think I need to find this Quatra dude. Wasn't there a mission that we had to do? Yeah, deliver the box to Quatra. We got this box from, I don't remember who he was, but let's go in here. My character remembers. My character knows. The nameless one, he knows. He knows.
Alright.
Okay, what do we have in here? Quatra? Where BD? Oh, there he is. Okay. Hello, sir. Moving from box to box, this man seems to be totally immersed in counting boxes and scribbling results down on a piece of parchment. He looks annoyed as you interrupt him. What is it now? Can't you see I'm busy taking inventory? Go bother someone else. Yeah, I was told to deliver this box to you. Well, why didn't you say so in the first place? Let's see what you got from me. I'm sure it'll need to be inventoried. Yeah, Mark told me to give this to you. As you hold the box out for him to take, Quatra's expression turns from one of interest to that of intense horror. No, please, get it away from me! Yeah, I know what is in there. I don't really understand. Will this go well for me? I don't know. I don't understand. Why are you afraid of this box? I said get back! Death, evil, had to dupe... Mar... Couldn't take it anymore. Please, take the Braskin. What? Take to Braskin. Leave southwest. Hive me. No! Apparently the sight of the box is just too much for him as he runs screaming from the building. Wait, what am I supposed to do with... So I need to take it to Braskin.
Updated my journal.
Yeah, he's off. He's really off. I need to take it to Braskin. I also need to rest, which is something I wanted to do, and I think I can do it if I go to Mourns for Trees. Does he let me rest or something? Anyway, this is all new place.
Just look natural.
Yeah, there's a black abishai over there.
Casual.
What do we have over here? Just a bunch of vines. Yeah, it's the trees. The ash-covered tree looks like it has suffered greatly since being transplanted. Yeah, I now am seeing that it's trees. Hey, monster trees, how's it going, man? Any change in the trees yet? No, not yet, friend. I still have hope, though. I speak to people every day. Yeah, that's very good. Okay, so that's nothing for me there. Let's see if I have painted door. Yeah. Fell's tattoo parlor. Could Fell let me sleep? I wish he does. Let's see if that guy doesn't turn on me. He probably doesn't like me. Yeah. Can't do anything with the door yet. Let's just go in there, see if Fell allows us to take a nap. Otherwise, I'm gonna need to go somewhere else. I know other places where I can sleep. I can trade with him. That's great. But I cannot... Yeah, it's the tattoos. I cannot sleep. I really need to heal Morte because he's feeling too red.
Alright.
Too red. Okay, so where to next? Well, this way. We've got a harlot. Yeah, that's not the kind of rest I need. I'm Maurice over here. Oh, yeah, I did what you asked me. Oh, I hear you spoke to Nod for me. Thank you, Cutter. Yeah, of course. How did you know? I have many a friend in the Hive, I do. And she winks at you. Again, I thank you. Of course. Farewell. Okay, yeah. So that's that quest done. A burning man? No. It's on fire? Oh boy. Well, we have the Smoldering Corpse Bar.
Come on in, Cutter, you're gonna love this.
Oh boy, is that what he... Holy crap, they were asking me to come in here. That's just environmental sound. It's just the sounds that the engine is capable of producing. If you played Baldur's Gate 1 or 2, you'll notice these in the CDs. They'll be saying crazy, zany things. It's a little dead here tonight. Not as dead as the mortuary, though, she says. Drusilla. This is a woman with fading bruises on her face and arms and a look of despairing longing in her sunken eyes. She might have been pretty once, but those days were long ago. She turns slowly to face you. Life pours into her features, and she sparks a sardonic light that dances in her eyes now makes you wonder if your eyes were deceiving you. Oh, because she's pretty now? Okay. Welcome to the Smoldering Corpse, scarred men. Who are you? I'm Drusilla, and you must be clueless. Don't ask me how I know that. It shines off you. Clueless? Is that my name? What? I think not. She smirks at you, and her bruises seem almost to fade. Whatever you say, dearie. Okay. Answer some questions for me. I, traveler. What is it you seek? So, who are you? Okay, so, yeah, goes back to that. I'm looking for a journal. Would you happen to have seen it? A journal? Oh, sure. I've kept an eye out for all stray journals, just in case some scarred man walks in my favorite bar and starts asking about it. Do you ask that of everyone you meet? What a fascinating life. Yeah, I actually kind of do. But she's a smart mouth, isn't she? Okay, so let's, look, I mean, I have no real cause to try to anger her, I should say. What can you tell me about this place? Here? This is the smoldering corpse, though the person smoldering ain't dead yet. He's just keeping himself alive till someone comes along to help him out. Sods who like to see people in pain come here. Fiends like it. Folks who don't care much of being bothered come here too. The name alone keeps out most of the Burks. Who is he anyway?
Updated my journal.
That despair you saw on her face before flits across it again like a black-winged shadow before she masters herself. That's Ignis, one of the greatest wizards ever to come out of this slummy excuse of a cesspool. They caught him and they opened a channel to the plane of fire through him, and now he's just a doorway for it, keeping himself alive by force of will alone. If someone could douse him for a few moments, I'd give him his life, or it'd give him his life back again, but they don't make enough water to do that. Oh, okay, because I was gonna say this seems pretty simple, but yeah. Someone should be able to find something. What's your connection to him? Her voice practically throbs with a deep ache. I was Ignis's lover, and he my beloved. He loved the flame more than me, and now he has become the flame. And because I love him, I love the flame. But that's all done with now. Now I wait for him to douse himself. I sell what little I have just so I can be near him. Well, very well. So, who's that burning man by the entryway? Yeah, she goes back to that. So I can't say anything about that. About actually being able to help him. Eb Crickneys and Candrian. We have a lot of people in here. That's that's another one of those, no, it's not a Barian or whatever. But he does look a little bit blurry, doesn't he? Well, then again, I'm way too zoomed in. It makes sense that well, I say I'm way too zoomed in. The original game is pixelated. This one is blurry. I don't know which one I prefer. To be honest, I kind of am fine with the way they blurred the things, because they're applying a sharpening filter to the whole thing. So it does look better, I think, than just a normal upscale, effectively. Mercy Killer Patron. Oh boy, let's have a chat with this blurry guy. You see a soft-looking man with gentle, far-staring eyes. He dresses in supple leather clothing and carries various implements of use and destruction about his body, such as ropes, spikes, tinder boxes, and empty vials of air. He looks half gone, literally. There's an yeah, so it's not the game engine. There's an insubstantiality to his existence, as if his essence had been partially leached away. He focuses those eyes on you, and suddenly you find them gripping and determined. Greetings to you, O Seeker. Greetings. He carefully sets down the mug he's holding and gives you all of his attention. I have seen the far reaches of the multiverse and returned to tell the tale. I have walked upon the bodies of dead gods and spun moonbeams in the astral head of 1,000 shrieking Githyanki nights. I have passed the edges of existence and watched my essence shiver away before me. What is it I can do for you? Well, you can introduce yourself for a start. You kind of seem to already have done that, but that's okay. I met a woman named Ingress with very bad teeth. She said she had come through a portal from some world that was opened by a tune hunt near 2 crossed trees. Can you get her home? He pauses briefly, thinking, I know the portal of which you speak, though I have not traveled it these 30 years gone. I will take her home, Seeker. Go tell her to await my arrival. Then meet me back here, and I will tell you if I was successful or not. Okay.
Updated my journal.
Well, that's very good, actually. Who are you? I am Kendrian Illborn, traveler, dreamer, tale spinner, and so forth. Oh. So he's like, these are actually a class, the dreamers. Is it dreamers or dream stalkers? I'm not really sure, but they're a class in Dungeons and Dragons. In the first expansion for Neverwinter Nights 2, there's one that I really like, actually. But I don't remember exactly what class he was. And there's a guy that walks into dreams. You're a traveler. Tell me of the plains. I am tired, Seeker, so tired. I am fresh back from negation. I will answer what I can for you, but I cannot promise that you will find satisfaction in the answers I give. What would you know? Would you hear of the outer planes, the prime material, or the inner planes? What's the difference? The difference is true essence, Seeker. The inner planes are matter substance, true physicality. They are the building blocks of the multiverse. For it is from them that all belief in the elements springs. The inner planes filter through the ethereal plane, the plane of potential, some say, which forms the elements into the world of mortals. Once past the ethereal plane, one reaches the prime material, where exists all manner of mortals and monsters and myths and machines. It is there that belief is born, and there that the spirits that create the outer planes are born. When mortals die, they pass through the astral plane, and no place that is thought and mental energy itself. Oh, yeah, the astral plane, and no place that is thought and mental energy itself. It is in all things and in none. It is paradox, among other things, and it filters spirits into the great ring. Do you comprehend so far? Not really, actually. It seems to be a different perspective in the world. I'm not familiar with this, actually. It seems to be quite novel, I would say. So let's see. The inner planes are matter and substance. They basically are where everything exists. That's basically reality, right? They're the building blocks of the multiverse. The inner planes filter through the ethereal plane, and that's confusing right there. So let's ignore that phrase. That's not a very good way of understanding things. Which forms the elements into the world of mortals, the ethereal plane. Does it? Once past the ethereal plane, one reaches the prime material, where exists all manner of mortals. So when they die, they pass through the astral plane, which is a different one, and into the... What? They pass through it, but into where? So, from what I can tell, astral is anything that is conceivable, or conceived, or, you know, has the possibility of being conceivable. Whereas the ethereal plane is more where ideas and actual ideas exist, sort of, because it makes more sense just from the name. Filter through the plane of potential, right there. Yeah. Some say which forms the elements into the world. Okay, so, and then there's the primate. Okay, so I think I understand that. Okay, yeah, go on. Now, the outer planes, where should I start? Oh, those are the inner planes? No. There's two inner planes. The ethereal, the prime, and the astral. The prime is where... Okay, sure. Now, the outer planes, where should I start? Do you know the cardinal rules of the planes, on which all others are based? Do you know about the composition of the outer planes? Do you know of the great ring and its divisions in our hearts? Do you know of the individual planes? Each of these leads to the next, and so it is best to start from the beginning. Oh boy, this is complex. I am curious, though. So tell me of the composition of the planes. So the outer planes are created of and by belief, and thought, and faith. They take their imagined form from the prime material plane, shaped into forms that stagger the imagination, built by the accumulation of belief. Belief creates the planes. Well, I suppose these outer planes could be planes like, you know, pocket planes and just god planes where just the gods will create them, something like that. Because that would make some sense then. The inner planes being reality itself and the outer planes being sort of private planes or something like that, because I think that's what I had in my memory from learning this from other games. Anyway, belief is power here. Change belief, and you can change the nature of reality. The creatures that are born here, the plane-born, like the fiends and the celestials, are truly born of the thoughts and concepts of mortals. They each express some sort of ideal, and the more powerful the ideal, the more powerful the being. Thus, the being that symbolizes love is one of the strongest of all. So the love is very powerful, sure. Not obsession, not fear, not hope. Love. Go on. That's why the powers, gods, some call them, leave out here. Oh, that's right, they call it powers. Oh, that's so cool, because that is so... That is so common to hear about the gods as powers. And that is so common, and it's never explained. And here it is. Because it's what it is. They're manifestations of that power. Leave out here in the outer planes. It's not out here. We're not in the outer plane, as far as I can tell, anyway. This is where, wait a minute, let me... I know the portal which you speak. Okay. I'm tired seeker. Would you hear of the outer planes, the prime material, or the inner planes? Okay, the prime material is something else entirely. Then I'm not really sure. So their realms are extensions of their very beings, manifestations of their godly essence, all of it informed by belief. Yeah, okay. So let's see. So we're going to disbelieve in faith, they will come aware that it was most power, most strong. Okay. So the composition of the planes is belief. Tell me of the Great Ring now. Among the loose unity of planewalkers, I think that, no, planewalkers is a different thing, not a dream walker. That's a different thing. We conceive of the infinite outer planes as a ring surrounding the plane of ultimate neutrality, the outlands. The spire atop which Sigil sits is in the center of the outlands. The further one travels away from the spire. Oh, that's spire word then. They mentioned, I imagined the spire would be at the center. I think I even said that. Anyway, they mentioned spire word as in somewhere. We might see this thing. The less neutral the plane grows until it spills into the neighboring planes. Each of these planes impinges, yeah, I know what it means, on the outlands, spinning themselves into law and chaos, good and evil, because those are fundamental. I'm writing a weekend update where I talk about this. And why this is wrong. The alignments in Dungeons and Dragons are wrong for other settings. People will connect with them in a more metaphysical way, where law and chaos and good and evil are actual forces in the setting. So the alignments need to be taken with that in consideration. But it's very easy to not think of that because they are such general things. But law and chaos are actually metaphysical, in lore things, and yeah, that's what they mean right there. And that's the cardinal rules that they were talking about. Huh. And that's why it's neutral. Oh, that makes total sense. The Great Road marks the demarcation between the outlands and the gate towns that spring up around the gates to these planes. Beyond the gate town lies the hinterlands, uncharted territory that is lost to history, that loses thought. Danger lies in the hinterlands. What? Beyond the gates? Okay. I should click show more and more. The outer planes differ by morality, not substance. For you, we'll divide the planes into three sets. The upper planes of good, the lower planes of evil, and the boundary planes of neutrality. Okay. So that's boundary because it's between the true neutrality, which he mentioned before, and the other ones. These are then divided further by law and chaos, with the outlands in the middle. Which of these interests to you? Okay, let's start with the good ones, the upper planes. Of the upper planes, there are the neutral planes, the lawful planes, and the chaotic planes. Oh my god. We're gonna spend the whole episode reading about this. I'm fine with that. I hope you are as well. If you're not, feel free to skip ahead. Don't mind. It's fine. That's fine. That's okay, but I'm really interested in this. The neutral planes, or the neutral upper planes, which are the good ones, contain the Beastlands, a place of neutrality and goodness, with a slight tinge of chaos where the animals rule in the eternal noon and night. They hold Bitopia. That's interesting. Tween paradise of industry and labor, where all work toward the good of all, and Elysium. Oh, we've heard of this in, I think, Baldur's Gate 2. The sweetest plane of goodness and calm I have ever come across. That's where the elves come from, I think. Alas, right now, I am not well enough to enjoy any of their restorative effects. What would you hear of now? Okay. What about the, So I asked about the neutral ones. What about the lawful good ones? Candrian gives a small shudder. I'm not the best person to speak of the planes of law, he says, for the innate structure and ultimate patterns they impose frighten me. I steer clear of them because I value my individuality more than I value the knowledge they'll bring me. They include regimented Arcadia, nearest of the good planes to the unbending order of Mechanus, and Mount Celestia, home of the Archons, an island in the Silver Sea. Okay. So what about the chaotic planes? Actually, that does explain this. What he means right there, because the law and order, and as in opposition to the chaotic forces, those are actual forces. It does mean that being lawful is more than just trying to conform with the society. You actually need to conform with the law of these particular planes. I suppose I will read about what the evil ones are, or how they are. So the chaotic good ones, these are where I feel at home, he says. Though I steer clear of Isgard, for the most part, the endless battles and tests of metal among the floating earthbergs of the plane don't do much for my disposition. Arborea, though, and he sighs, the mountains are taller, the air clearer, the rivers purer. Well, that's really, I mean, we're in Sigil, anything is gonna be like that. And the game larger, the game, as in the hunt game, yeah, larger than anywhere else. It is a true paradise, a place where passions run high, and the wine never ceases to flow. When I have recovered enough of my wits and myself, when we have done with the outer planes, you should ask me of the inner, and I will describe my journeys to you. I will return to Arborea's bowers and glades and lose myself for a time. Excuse me. Let's go back a few steps and overview. Yeah, tell me more about the planes of the Great Ring. So the lower boundaries. Like the upper planes, the lower planes are divided into lawful, chaotic, and neutral. Each of them varies in terms of horrors and what those horrors do to a traveler's spirit, and all of them are best avoided. Which of them would you like to hear of? The neutral planes. Let's start with that. The neutral planes, eh? They're vile and barely understandable, and they're more insidious on their own than you could ever imagine. Take Gehenna, for example. 4 volcanoes in stages of dormancy floating in an infinite void. Each of them somehow alive, and each of them wanting your soul by whatever means they can get it. Populated with Yogoloths, the worst of the fiends, in my opinion, and you've got the place. The plane of ultimate evil, at least, that's what they call it, is the Grey Waste, a no place that drains color from your body and spirit, stealing away even your apathy. How could you do that? And it's the site of the worst battleground in the war down there. Don't get me started. Then you've got Carceri on the chaotic side. Okay, I can ask about each one of them. Tell me about the war. Aye, the Blood War. Oh yeah, we've heard of this. In Baldur's Gate 1, I believe? Was it in Durgan's tower? Or was it in Baldur's Gate 2 where we go into the other tower in Baldur's Gate 2? I don't remember. Waterdeep? Helm? Helm Watch? Something like that. Well, we meet demons that come from the Blood War, and it's never explained because, well, that's the nature of Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, really, which they're games more meant for people that are actually aware and, well, you can play them easily enough, and it's fine if you don't know the lore of the setting, but if you do, you're gonna have a lot of little details that are really, really cool, down to characters that appear, or just mentions like the Blood War. We found some demons that were fighting in the Blood War, but they don't explain it too well, and well, I guess we're gonna learn. At the name, your blood feels as if it freezes in your veins. Illborn doesn't seem to notice, though, wrapped up as he is in his memories. 2 armies of fiends smashing why? Maybe I'm connected with that somehow. Anyway, 2 armies of fiends smashing together pointlessly across the lower planes, slaughtering mindlessly in the name of law and chaos. They'll aggrandize it, of course, but in the end, it's about hate and stupid endeavor that aids none and harms far too many. Now, what about Carceri? Ah, Carceri and its poisonous jungles, acid swamps, destructive waters, strung like a string of rotten pearls nestled within each other. He pauses and looks at you carefully, again fixing you in place with his eyes. Remember this, Seeker. Carceri is a prison. Yeah, that's where the name comes from, most likely. Home to the Garelets, one of the most dangerous types of fiends there is. The strength of the prison is the strength of the captor. As strong as the prisoner lets it be. Destroy the prison keeper, and a body can escape the red prison. There is almost no other way out. Not when the gates close themselves against you and watch you spin off into the vast space surrounding the orbs. Be wary of Carceri, traveler, for its bounds can be greater than flesh. Is it like an inverted prison where you need to get in through a pinprick of a place, and then if you need to get out, you need to get there? But because that's an interesting way of doing things, especially if you have demons going all over the place. You definitely and protect. It's like a Hunger Games or something where the end or the bottom, or sorry, the center is the way out, but the center is where everybody just tries to murder you. So you kind of want to get out of there or something. I don't know.
Updated my journal.
The rest of the lower planes, like the upper planes, the lower planes are divided into lawful, chaotic. Okay, why did you update your journal? Anyway, so I've asked about the war and the Carceri, the neutral plane. So let's go with the lawful ones. As much as I detest the order of the lawful upper planes, at least they present a modicum of goodness. Yeah, because you're chaotic good. Yeah. Oh, he's also... No, I was looking at this guy. This guy's pretty huge. Let's see. Their lower planar counterpart, though, are Acherons, a place of ricocheting cubes that never see an end to battle, swarming with the soul of dead humanoids, Baator. He shivers involuntarily. Baator is a place best avoided. Those Baatezu, the fiends in the corner there, are but the merest expression of the deviant corruption embodied in the soulless machine of order. If you want more... Oh, these are the demons that do pacts with you and stuff. The Baatezu. They're actually nice guys, I suppose. It's just they want to kill you. If you want more, talk to them. But remember, all that is bad about bureaucracy and order originates from Bator. And it's spread... What is bad about bureaucracy and order? Nothing. So nothing originates from Bator. Everything is amazing. Just give me bureaucracy until... Bureaucracy is amazing. Just forever. And it's spread... I'm really not a lawful... naturally lawful-oriented, though, myself. So I'm just making a joke here. Because I don't find too many bad things with bureaucracy, to be honest. And it spreads... But that's a discussion in and of itself. And it spreads like a stain across the hearts of mortals. Though there is some knowledge to be found there, it is rarely worth the spiritual rape the planes inflict. Oh, okay. Why do you feel that there is something... That there is something to be found there? Because you're precisely the opposite of that. That's interesting. Maybe because he sees the actual... Because these are actually a little bit better? Anyway. So what about the chaotic planes? Wait a minute, did I ask about the lawful ones? Yeah, okay, so there's no specific ones. What about the chaotic planes? The Abyss is in some place you should consider going. Where Bator is an all-orderly, the Abyss is full of chaos and change, and none of it's pleasant. When it becomes something that approximates normality, that's when you should be most wary of it. It's home to the Tenari. Oh yeah, the Tenari. What most primes call demons, and they've got that name for a reason. They are unpredictable and murderous, and the few you can trust are few and far between. The few I have met who I trust, I still don't trust entirely. They are creatures of chaos and evil incarnate, and if they're putting on a friendly face, who's to say it's not part of the larger agenda? Yeah, well, it usually is. At least according to what I've seen. So we have read about the upper planes, the lower planes. Now we need to read about the boundary planes. But, well, let's continue. Let's make this a bit of a longer episode. I was gonna end the episode there, but let's see. There are two boundary planes to my mind, and they are diametrically opposed. One of them, Mechanus, is the very essence of law. Oh, that is interesting. A place where beliefs fit together, interlocking, turning in a massive machine that is the entire plane. Those folks have it that the gears of Mechanus are the engine that drives the planes. The other plane is Limbo, a swirling morass of chaos that follows no rules, none, and just when a body thinks it's classified its behavior, it goes and changes on him, or it doesn't. You just can't tell. It was in Limbo. I was in Limbo not long ago. Okay, tell me of your journey. He closes his eyes, remembering. I had a Gitterai guide with me, an anarch who could shape the illogical matter of the planes into forms of his desire. We had fought off the harrying of the Sladi, the chaos creatures who call that plane home. It seemed there were more than usual, but then, one can never tell what's usual in Limbo, but I digress. In the midst of all this chaos, we came across a series of huge metal interlocking cubes, like some sort of puzzle box. It wasn't something we had shaped, consciously or not, and we couldn't find a way inside. It was like a bastion of order within the confines of disorder, a seed of law. That is the best I can explain it. Okay.
Updated my journal.
So that's another update right there. So tell me about the outer planes, the other plane. Okay, so that's about the boundary planes. What about the Outlands? That was interesting. I didn't really understand what they were. The Outlands are absolute neutrality. Probably the best place for a body to visit in the outer planes outside of Sigil. If you don't want to have a plane's morality forced into your heart, everything balances out in the Outlands, as it should be, for the plane that sits in the center of the outer planes. Power's realms are scattered about here, and there are handfuls of gate towns that open into the rest of the outer planes. The gate towns usually mirror the philosophy of the plane their gates open onto, and if the balance of belief isn't kept in the town slips into the nearby plane. It's a bad situation for everybody, because a few of the folk in the town really want that change. But enough of the Outlands. What more would you know? Actually, it makes total sense. So they're in constant... It's interesting. I wonder if they are actually represented as being a slope or something like that. That'd be an interesting thing. So let's see. The Great Ring. So let's go back up. So those were... the outer planes, right? Do you know of the cardinal rules? Yeah. Composition, the Great Ring and its divisions, the individual planes. Okay, let's go a few steps back. This is actually tricky to navigate. The inner planes... Oh yeah, that's a different one. Okay. About the inner planes, he sighs as if this reminded him of his deep, bone-deep wariness. Think of the inner planes as a globe. On the top pole, you have the positive material plane. On the bottom, you have the negative material. And this is all to do with magic as well. Negative magic and all that sort of stuff. He pauses. Remind me to tell you of the negative. His eyes turn inwards to some private horror. From the interaction between the two springs all of the urge for existence and non-existence, death and life, actuality and nothing. That's actually nothing is not is it the opposite of actuality? Nothing? Interesting. It's an interesting discussion right there. From them springs, I guess if you're chaotic, then maybe, yeah, you think nothing would be the opposite of actuality. Anyway, because actuality is entropy. Well, whatever. From them springs the basic elemental planes, like fire, water, air, and earth. The para-elemental planes that lie between the 4 basic elements, and the quasi-elemental planes that come from the interaction of the 4 elements, with a positive and negative. Tell me about the negative material plane. His eyes cloud over. I went to the inner planes to discover my true essence. I made the mistake of visiting the negative material plane in order to understand my body's urge to decay and the cycle of death in life. I thought myself protected against the ill effects of the plane with my magic, but I was wrong. The blackness of infinite nothing pressed on my soul, and I was beset by shadows that sought to snuff out my very soul. I lost my way for a time, for an eternity, and nearly lost my existence. I could feel my essence falling away from me, and am even now half gone. Yeah, so that's what happened to him. Never will I return. How did you survive?
My journal.
How did I survive? And he smiles tightly. With a piece of nothing that held back the nothing. Nothing can stop nothing, you know. And so I carried nothing in my hand to protect me. Do you plan to journey to the ultimate negation yourself? You have the smell of desperation about you, and so I make you this gift. Hold it in your hand when the shadows press in, and it should protect you and your friends somewhat. Should you remain close to you? Should they remain close to you? And he passes you a small black token that looks as if it has no dimensionality to it at all. That's the nothing. Oh, I thought he literally held nothing in his hand, but that'll be too convenient, I guess. But yeah, let's see. How about the inner planes? So, the rest of that was that for the inner planes. How about the prime material? You want to know of the prime? Visit it. The boundless worlds of that plane have an infinite variety, as do the planes, but I cannot encapsulate them as I have here. Suffice it to say, they are the birth of the outer planes, the children of the inner, and they hold limitless potential within their boundaries. They are the birth... Yeah, they are the fathers of the outer planes and the children. Yeah, the birth there is a little bit confusing. So that's that, I guess. What did you mean when you mentioned negation before? Okay, so he goes back to that particular thing. Some questions. Man, what did I ask him for him to tell me about the planes? Anyway, let's talk to him in the next episode. That was very interesting. I hope you enjoyed it. It's alright if you didn't want to watch it. If it's alright if you didn't enjoy it, it's okay. Don't feel obliged to see everything. It's much like, I mean, I will play everything because I will read everything, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say, because I feel obliged to show you everything if you really want to see it. But RPGs and games in general are brilliant, and in comparison to books, for example, they're brilliant because they actually allow you to choose not to read bits of it, not to talk to this character or to say just screw you or I'm gonna kill you, whatever, because that's the agency that RPGs give you, and that's brilliant, that's awesome, and that fundamentally shapes the experience. On a Let's Play, don't feel obliged to watch everything. Don't feel obliged to just keep ahead if you don't want to. I know a lot of you guys are okay with this. I know that, but and of course to those of you, to every one of you that is watching right now, thank you very much. Thank you very much for watching. We'll continue talking to Kandrian on the next episode. Before right now, I'm Colonel RPG, and this has been Planescape Torment. I really hope you've enjoyed it, considering what I said before as well. And if you did, or if you didn't, go ahead and leave a comment. Like the video if you want. Well, actually, I was going to say like the video if you want to see the next episode come through rather than later. But yeah, it's fine. You can not like, it's fine, because next episode comes out tomorrow. See you then. Bye-bye.